Hello, my name is Rebecca Tresham and my scenario is hypoglycemia. In this case, a 71-year-old type 2 diabetic started to display symptoms such as weakness and shakiness during exercise, and after exercise was discontinued, he started to display erratic behavior and became uncooperative with the staff. Since he's diabetic and was displaying symptoms such as weakness, shakiness, erratic behavior, emotional reactions, he's displaying signs of hypoglycemia, which is low blood glucose levels. When in doubt, you want to treat for hypoglycemia because it is a more life-threatening condition. And so the number one step is you would first want to stop exercise. You would want the client to get seated in a comfortable position, preferably against a support such as a wall. In this case, since he was uncooperative with staff, you would want to call a physician to come, and you would also want to do this when he is unresponsive. You would want to give him some sort of carbohydrate source, so such as glucose gel. Preferably if he's uncooperative or unresponsive, you would want to give him some sort of liquid rather than solid, so it's easily consumed and easily absorbed, because when they're unresponsive or uncooperative, it could be a choking hazard if you gave them a solid carbohydrate source. So number one thing, carbohydrate source, glucose source to help raise those blood glucose levels. Then a cardiac rehab nurse can place a intravenous line, and you would want to monitor the patient's vital signs such as blood glucose level, heart rate, blood pressure, monitor those signs and symptoms until the physician arrives. So some symptoms you would want to look out for is faintness, confusion, convulsions, headache, erratic behavior, emotional distress. You could also look at their lips. They might portray bluish lips. When the physician arrives, then the patient would be sent to the emergency department. In the case that he was responsive and he was conscious, was cooperative with the staff, you would want to get him in a seated position, ask him what his sign and symptoms are, and obtain a finger prick. If the finger prick is below 70 milligrams per deciliter, then you would want to administrate him a carbohydrate source, and in this case that he is conscious and able to talk and display the symptoms, you could give him a solid, but still it's preferred to give him a fast consumed type of carbohydrate source, so like pop, juice. You could give him Powerade, fruit snacks, a granola bar, something that's easily consumed to help quickly raise those blood glucose levels. You would want to get him to sit, not move, for 15 minutes, and again, monitor those vital signs, so blood pressure, blood glucose levels, heart rate, and those signs and symptoms. After 15 minutes, you then would obtain a finger prick again. If his blood glucose levels were below 90 milligrams per deciliter, you would want to repeat those steps, so you would administrate a carbohydrate source. Like I said, anything like a glucose gel, juice, a granola bar, something to raise those glucose levels quickly, and then you would monitor the vital signs and retest again after 15 minutes. If he is over 90 milligrams per deciliter, then he is sent home. In the case that he's still below 90 milligrams per deciliter after testing twice, and that's when you would want to call a physician, so then they could be sent to the emergency department to go get medical help. And this is what you do if your client suffers from hypoglycemia.